At a Best Buy in downtown Brooklyn, Kevin Durant strolled through the TV aisle with a close friend. Low-key, no entourage, blending in just enough to avoid the chaos. For a few minutes it was business as usual. They pointed at the screens, casually debating which OLED had the best refresh rate. Nobody paid them much attention until they didn't keep their voices down. KD had just leaned in and whispered, "Bro, you know the NBA would never suspend LeBron like they did Ja, right?" The sentence was sharp, meant to stay between friends. But the tone was different. Not bitter, not loud, just honest. His friend raised an eyebrow. "You're really saying that out loud?" KD shrugged. "Come on, man. They protect him. Always have. You think if LeBron posted that same IG live, he'd be suspended 25 games? Please." A few feet away, a man browsing Bluetooth speakers froze mid-reach. His phone was already recording. He wasn't even pretending to shop anymore. He just zoomed in, steady hands, capturing every word. He didn't interrupt, didn't ask for a selfie. He just hit record and let the fire start on its own. By 2:17 p.m., the video had already made it to Twitter. The caption was simple. KD just casually said this in a Brooklyn Best Buy. The video? Crystal clear. No background music, no cuts. Just Durant, arms folded in front of a flat screen, saying it straight. They'd never suspend LeBron like they did Ja. Not in a million years. It spread like wildfire. Within 10 minutes, NBA Twitter was ablaze. He's NBA watchdog. Durant's not lying. Double standards have been real. On Lakers faithful. Nah, KD's bitter again. LeBron lives rent-free. Grizzlies Central. Jagata New Alley. KD cooking. Back inside the store, KD was still shopping, oblivious to what was happening outside. But by the time he got to checkout, 2 employees had already seen the clip on their breaks. One whispered to the other, "Yo, he really said that?" Another customer passed by slowly, eyes wide, phone in hand. KD noticed. His friend leaned in. "You're online, bro." Durant sighed. "Already?" His phone buzzed. 3 missed calls, 7 texts. The quote wasn't just trending, it was causing waves. ESPN was clipping it. NBA panelists were arguing about context, and Morant. He reposted the clip on his IG story with 3 words. Isn't that the truth? This wasn't just a throwaway line anymore. It was a challenge to the league, to the media, to the image of LeBron himself. By 5 p.m., the NBA's PR department was already working overtime. ESPN had Durant's quote looping on every show. Debate panels were dissecting every syllable. Is Kevin Durant right? Is there a double standard? Why now? LeBron hadn't said a word, but the silence felt louder than a response. Meanwhile, Durant was back at his hotel, pacing near the window as calls flooded in. His agent, Rich, tried to calm him down. "You didn't say anything wrong, KD. You just told the truth." Durant didn't look convinced. "But now they're going to make this about me attacking LeBron." "You didn't," Rich said firmly. "You called out the system." Across town, a source within the league office confirmed to a reporter, "There's concern. Durant's influence is massive. This narrative could snowball." And snowball it did. Players started liking the clip. Tweets from anonymous NBA burner accounts began surfacing with cryptic messages. "It's always been 2 sets of rules. Some stars are above consequence." Then came the twist. A reporter from The Athletic revealed that an internal memo had been sent out to team PR departments urging them to avoid fueling speculation about league discipline policies. That memo leaked. Now it wasn't just a KD versus LeBron situation. It was KD versus the entire image the NBA tried to protect. Outside Barclays Center, fans gathered, some holding homemade signs. One read, "Durant told the truth." The war of perception had officially begun. The next morning, First Take aired a full segment titled, "The NBA's Untouchables, Is KD Exposing a Double Standard?" Stephen A. Smith pointed directly at the camera, animated and fired up. "Let me be clear. Kevin Durant didn't attack LeBron James. He attacked the idea that some players live by a different rulebook. And you know what? He might be right." Within an hour, Durant's original video had over 15 million views across TikTok, Instagram, and X. The hashtags were multiplying. Hashtag free speech KD, hashtag double standard debate, hashtag Durant vs the machine. Meanwhile, Durant remained silent online. No tweets, no interviews. But behind the scenes, a storm was brewing. Several current and former NBA players started reaching out privately. Some showed quiet support. Others asked him to tone it down. One message stood out, from an anonymous number. "You're not wrong, but they won't let this slide. Be ready." At that same moment, a new article dropped in Bleacher Report. An anonymous front office executive was quoted saying, "The league protects the faces that sell. If Durant wants to challenge that, he better be prepared to deal with the fallout." Durant stared at his phone, jaw clenched. His longtime friend Rich walked in, holding a tablet. "KD, you need to see this." It was a leaked email thread, NBA sponsors expressing concern about the drama, asking what the league's plan was to manage the narrative. Durant scoffed. "They're not managing the truth, just the optics." The war wasn't about a quote anymore. It was about who controls the story. By that afternoon, the backlash had sharpened. Durant's name was everywhere, but the tone was shifting. A major sports blog ran the headline, "Is KD jealous of LeBron's power?" ESPN's social team clipped only half of Durant's Best Buy quote, making it sound more like a personal attack on LeBron than a call-out of the league. Debate shows ran with it. "Jealousy is a stinky cologne," said one former player-turned-analyst on live TV. "KD's legacy is secure, but he's got to stop crying every time someone else gets love." Durant watched it all unfold from his apartment, phone buzzing nonstop. Rich stood nearby, pacing. "They're twisting it. They're trying to flip it on you, make it about LeBron so the league doesn't have to answer for the real point." Durant muttered, "That's the playbook. Deflect and isolate." Then came the real hit. The NBA's official PR account posted a vague statement about respectful discourse and upholding league integrity, followed by a thinly veiled line. "We expect our players to elevate the game, not stir division." Rich looked up. "That's about you." Durant didn't blink. They just made it official. A few minutes later, he picked up his phone and tweeted, "You don't protect the game. You protect the illusion. Keep the mask on. I'll keep talking." Within 30 seconds, it had over 100,000 likes. Within 5 minutes, hashtag #KeepTalkingKD was trending #1. This wasn't just a social media feud anymore. It was Durant versus the league itself. By evening, the narrative had spiraled into a full-blown war. Pundits, podcasts, and ex-players were picking sides. On YouTube, popular commentators released hour-long breakdowns of Durant's comments, dissecting them like political speeches. Durant's tweet, "You don't protect the game, you protect the illusion," was now plastered on fan merch. Someone even projected it onto a building in downtown Brooklyn. Inside NBA HQ, the mood was shifting too. League officials were scrambling. A leaked internal email showed execs discussing damage control and how to neutralize the messaging. Meanwhile, Durant doubled down. He went live on Instagram from his apartment, phone in hand, no lighting crew, no polish, just him, raw. "I'm not backing down," he said calmly. "You want to protect narratives, fine, but don't expect silence when you protect certain players and punish others. I've seen it. We all have." Comments poured in. "KD got receipts." "The NBA is about to blacklist him, and he doesn't care." "LeBron better say something or this gets messier." Even current players chimed in anonymously via burner accounts and Reddit AMAs, admitting there were clear double standards when it came to league discipline. Then came the shock. A former NBA referee, now retired, tweeted, "Durant's not wrong. I've been in meetings where the tone was clear. Some players are too valuable to suspend. I said nothing back then. I regret it now." The tweet exploded. Now, Durant wasn't just fighting opinions. He was backed by facts. The league had a storm on its hands, and KD? He was just getting started. The next morning, Durant posted a cryptic tweet. "You all wanted proof? Say less. No hashtags, no context." Within the hour, he uploaded a short video to his YouTube channel, titled "Why I Said What I Said." It wasn't flashy, just Durant sitting in a chair in front of a muted gray background, holding a tablet. "Let's walk through it," he began. The video then cut to clips from previous seasons, foul calls, suspensions, and fines. Durant pointed out inconsistencies in player treatment, highlighting cases where less marketable players were punished severely, and others, notably LeBron, received slaps on the wrist or no action at all. "Tell me why Ja gets 25 games, but when LeBron did something nearly identical in 2021, it's handled internally," he said, tapping the tablet. It wasn't personal. He never insulted LeBron by name. But the pattern was clear. The final clip? A voice recording. Anonymous, altered pitch, but unmistakably from a league official. "He's too important. It's bad optics if we bench him. Let it slide this time." The internet detonated. Within 15 minutes, ESPN called it a reckoning. #KDDahuar trended globally. TNT rescheduled their NBA segment for a special live discussion. Even non-sports media weighed in. Trevor Noah posted, "Kevin Durant just turned into the Edward Snowden of the NBA." Stephen A. Smith, visibly stunned on air, admitted, "This might be the most important video ever dropped by a player mid-season." Durant had officially launched a rebellion, and this time, the league had no safe narrative to fall back on. That afternoon, the NBA world held its breath. For hours, LeBron James said nothing. But then, just before 5 p.m. Eastern, a post appeared on his Instagram story. A black background, white text. "If you've got something to say it with your chest. I've never needed protection. No tag, no name, but everyone knew who it was meant for." Kevin Durant responded within minutes, posting a side-by-side image of the anonymous league quote and LeBron's story, captioned, "I just did." From that point on, the battle left the court and hit mainstream media with full force. On the Pat McAfee show, one guest said, "It's no longer Durant versus the league, it's Durant versus the system." CNN invited former league executives to discuss potential corruption. The New York Times ran a Sunday front-page feature. Is the NBA protecting its icons? Inside the fallout from Kevin Durant's leak. At the same time, NBA fans split into two camps, #Team Durant, calling for transparency, demanding investigations, even petitions for rule reforms, #Team League, defending LeBron, accusing Durant of deflecting from his own career frustrations. Even former players chimed in. J.R. Smith tweeted, "We knew. KD just had the guts to finally say it out loud." Meanwhile, Durant kept quiet. No media, no interviews, no podcasts. Instead, he kept training, preparing, waiting. Because deep down, he knew the next move wouldn't come from him. It would come from the league. And the storm was only just beginning. That afternoon, LeBron James finally addressed it. In an Instagram Live from his home in LA, LeBron sat casually on a patio couch, sipping tea, but his tone was razor sharp. "You can say what you want about me, but don't question my integrity. I've earned every minute, every accolade. Nobody's protected me. I show up and I deliver. Simple as that." The chat exploded instantly. Tens of thousands of viewers, emojis, fire symbols, people begging for drama. Then LeBron paused and added, "Funny how folks get loud when things don't go their way. Some of us lead, others tweet." Boom. Everyone knew who that was aimed at. Durant, watching from a gym TV while rehabbing his ankle, smirked and stood up. He grabbed his phone and immediately posted to X. "Lamau, integrity or immunity? Have you ever had to miss games for the same stuff others get a slap on the wrist for? I'm not scared of cameras. I'm scared of double standards." It was war now. That tweet got 2 million views in an hour. Suddenly, fans weren't just debating NBA favoritism, they were picking sides. #Team KD and #Team LeBron started trending globally. Sports shows abandoned their scripts. Talk radio lines were full. Even players chimed in, some defending LeBron, others quietly liking Durant's posts. And behind closed doors, sources said the NBA front office was in full damage control mode. This wasn't just drama, it was a cultural reckoning. And Kevin Durant had lit the match. By the next morning, the NBA issued a rare public statement. We take integrity seriously. Any accusations regarding favoritism or unequal treatment will be reviewed thoroughly. It was vague, it was corporate, and it only added fuel to the fire. ESPN ran a headline. Durant versus LeBron. Is the league playing favorites? Skip Bayless predictably took Durant's side. Shannon Sharpe defended LeBron like family. And Stephen A. Smith? He went nuclear. Kevin Durant just accused the NBA of protecting LeBron James. That's not a hot take. That's a damn earthquake. Meanwhile, Durant doubled down. In a surprise appearance on X Spaces, he joined a fan-led discussion and spoke candidly. I'm not walking it back. Look at the history. There's a pattern. Some of us get crushed for little things. Others get protected because they're the league's face. I'm tired of it. Thousands listened in real time. Reporters clipped his quotes within seconds. Former players chimed in, some quietly agreeing, others calling it sour grapes. Then, mid-space, Durant paused and said, "You think I'm the only one who feels this way? Wait." He dropped out of the chat. 5 minutes later, he tweeted, "Tomorrow. Noon, Brooklyn, you'll see." Nobody knew what it meant, but the internet exploded with one unified thought. Is Durant about to drop receipts? This wasn't just a war of words anymore. Durant was promising proof. And the league? They were sweating. Because if KD really had something, everything could change. The day after the heated ESPN segment, Durant sat in the back of a quiet Brooklyn cafe with his longtime manager, Rich. They had phones, headphones, and one open laptop in front of them. Rich was visibly tense. "Are you sure about this?" he asked, tapping the spacebar. Durant nodded. "If they want to silence me with power, I'm going to answer with truth." Rich hit play. A grainy voice recording filled the air, and unmistakably, it was LeBron James. The audio was clear enough to erase any doubt. "You know damn well they'd never suspend me. I am the NBA. That's why Silver calls me before half the decisions. You think I'd sit out for waving a gun? They'd bury the footage before that happens." There was a pause. The room felt colder. And Ja? He doesn't get it. He's not one of us. Not yet. Rich looked stunned. "Where'd you get this?" Durant leaned back. "A guy from inside, PR team guy, said he couldn't sit on it anymore." That night, Durant posted one sentence on X. "You heard it. I wasn't lying. Now what?" Attached was the full audio, labeled LBJ Tape Final.mp3. It spread like wildfire. Within minutes, major news outlets picked it up. CNN, TMZ, ESPN, FOX, even foreign media. It wasn't just a basketball story anymore. It was institutional. And LeBron? Silent. Because this time, no tweet could save him. The morning after Durant dropped the LeBron audio, chaos ruled every timeline. ESPN halted regular programming. CNN brought on legal analysts. Twitter crashed for 5 minutes under the weight of hashtag LeBron tapes. By 9 a.m., the NBA had released a short, vague statement. "We are reviewing the legitimacy of an audio clip circulating online and will issue further comment after internal discussions." Too late. At Nike headquarters, nervous board members held emergency meetings. Journalists camped outside league offices. And outside Best Buys across the country, customers weren't asking about TVs. They were asking about truth. Durant, however, wasn't hiding. He sat down that night on 60 Minutes, wearing all black, eyes focused. "I didn't do this to take down LeBron," he said. "I did it because the truth matters. The league I gave everything to shouldn't run on fear and favoritism." The interviewer leaned forward. "Do you think the NBA is corrupt?" Durant paused. Then, calmly, "I think when power protects itself too much, it forgets the game." That quote alone detonated the next media cycle. Protests broke out outside NBA arenas. Fans held signs, "Protect the game, not the brand." LeBron lied. The league let him. Former players began to speak. Anonymous front office sources confirmed, yes, there was special treatment. Yes, calls were made. Yes, Ja was punished to protect the image of someone else. And LeBron? He posted once, just a black screen with the words, "Be careful what you believe." But it was too late. He didn't show for media day. Sponsors paused campaigns. His silence became a confession. Meanwhile, Kevin Durant walked into a packed Barclays Center, cheered like never before. The villain turned truth-teller, a player who refused to be silenced. As he warmed up, a courtside fan yelled, "They'll never suspend you for speaking the truth." Durant smirked. Let them try. And that night, he dropped 42 points. No distractions, just the game, finally clean again. The NBA would survive, but it would never be the same.